Microsoft made a major announcement regarding Skype this week, saying that they are announcing Skype TX, a broadcaster or studio grade audio and video for broadcasters. What it'll do is that it's a service technology developed by Cat and Mouse, a recent Microsoft acquisition, to offer higher quality audio and video output that media professionals require. It'll also support broadcast standard HD SDI interface. You actually met with Skype while you were there at NAB this week.
I did.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what it is that they're going to be doing?
Yeah. So now here was the issue with this. They were very careful on what they told you. Right now, this is looking like it is a hardware software solution. So it looks like it's going to be a box that does HDSDI in, HDSDI out. It's going to be
kind of like a set-top box or a Mac Mini.
That is the impression that they gave me, that it is some sort of set-top box. You connect it, it does SDI in, SDI out. You also get a lot of controls over the video. You get to control the aspect ratio. You get to control the quality of it. So if we're going to go based on what they were doing with Microsoft Link, you could, if you have a Link server, you could actually throttle it. You could determine what kind of bandwidth it's going to be sent at. You could determine what kind of video resolution you're receiving. There's also going to be audio tweaks, so you could manage the audio. There's going to be audio delay, sync delay on the audio. We don't have a price right now, which is unfortunate, but that
is unfortunate, because this is something that I know that you and me and a lot of other podcasters have been interested in for a long time, since this is something that we use for what we do. Twit does it. We do it. A lot of other podcasters that do video podcasting use this to bring in guests. And this is something that we've all been kind of clamoring for, is some way to have more control over our Skype calls.
Now, I did learn a little bit about the audio and video quality. The video will be much higher. The term was used double bit rate. So I believe
bit rate.
That was a term that somebody used to me. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know what they're considering the current bit rate for video. If I would assume it's between 2.5 to 5 megabits per second for HD 1080p via one of the Logitech C920s. So we're looking at maybe 5 to 10 megabits for the video quality for higher res video. The audio, I was told that it will be implementing a new codec, which I'm assuming it's Opus. They announced that last year that they're going to be implementing the Opus codec, which gives you studio-grade audio, or they called it HD audio. And I'm using air quotes for people that are not watching and they're listening. I don't know what HD audio means to them. And if you run out of bandwidth, it's also going to revert back to Silk. So it's going to do this weird hybrid where at times it'll be incorporating the Silk 3 codec, and
so it's still going to have some sort of automatic controls.
It's going to have some sort of automatic controls. The way that they said is that they're going to have it. You're going to be able to just set everything on auto, and it's going to determine it, or you could control it depending on where they are and what they're doing. One example that they gave me was remote on-screen locations. Like they were doing a demo there, and they were showing someone in a London studio that was using the live stream streaming unit, and they were sending HD 1080p video.
A demo video of this.
The other thing that they told me is that currently it's one Skype instance that you could run on it, but they are looking by release to have up to 4 instances. That's their key number, is 4 instances on one unit. I think this is where the pricing thing happens, where I think they're going to start at around, if I'm just guessing, I think we're going to see couple $100, $500, $600, and it's going to go all the way up to maybe, a couple thousand for a box.
In a way, this almost sounds like they're making a Skype appliance.
They're making a Skype appliance.
What Google's the Telos Alliance has, or other people in the radio business have these appliances to do video broadcasting and stuff. This is going to be an appliance.
Somebody asked an interesting thing. They said, "Is this unit going to be rack mountable?" And they said, "Yeah, they're working on a rack mount."
Yeah, so this is basically going to be a Skype appliance, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Which, to me, is a brilliant idea and something I think they should have done a good year or two ago.
For the longest time, they were not very welcoming of broadcasters using this. It wasn't the most open of platforms for them to use, but it seems like they've kind of accepted that people are going to use this and people are going to want to do, a lot of stuff. Now,
I wonder if maybe that push is coming from Microsoft and not necessarily the original Skype team.
It's probably coming from Microsoft because they're more enterprise based than the original Skype team.
Okay.
So I think the hardware is coming first, and then they're going to go with the software. But there's an open beta program. If anybody's interested, you can go to the website, media.skype.com. You could click on the more about Skype TX, and you could sign up. And they will be starting a beta program in about 3 months, and that's going to be running for about 6 to 9 months. And after that, they're looking to release it by the end of the year.
So we probably won't see any of this until end of 2015. You're saying?
No. They're hopeful
end of this year.
End of this year. That's what they're hoping
for the hardware, but then it'll be end of next year before we see the software.
They were very careful on what they were saying. Now, I do see some hope in the fact that they will most probably implement a lot of these features in the next version of Skype, like the Opus codec. That's something that's going to be added. The higher bitrate for video, that's something that's going to be added. If you don't need HD SDI, which 90% of internet broadcasters don't need HD SDI,
right,
and we just want to use the Blackmagic hardware, I think there's going to be a solution for that because they were very open about saying, we realize people want to use things other than a webcam. And it's been a struggle for them to kind of understand this, that people want to use a capture card, okay, but none of them work. Right. There are resolution issues. Right now, I'm sending you a Blackmagic Intensity Pro 720p, but guess what, John? At times, it's bouncing from 360 to 720 for no apparent reason, no reason at all.
Right.
I have more than enough bandwidth. If I do Wirecast, it works, but only on an older version. And I told him this. I said, it's kind of going to a flea market and trying to find 2 shoes at 10 different stores that fit. You're trying to find the same pair of shoes, same size, but who knows what size you're going to find, and you don't know if it's going to work.
Right.
So, and they were actually surprised by that. They go, well, we like to work with certain companies. I go, yeah, but it's everything. Everything has been like this with you guys, and I don't expect them to change because I said that. But they were kind of surprised that, this is the issue that people have. And it makes it very difficult. I'm excited for this. I mean, a lot of our viewers, they're podcasters, they're into this stuff. This is something that we've spoken about. We have our own Skype servers that
we've been talking about this for at least a good 2 years.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? They were asking me, like, how do you utilize Skype? And I told them, I'm like, I essentially have built a server rack of Skype machines. And I have 4 Skype machines that do video in and video out, all sending HD. And we use them for on air. And they were stunned. They're like, so you have dedicated machines for each one? I go, yep. And we're using IP audio. We're implementing IP audio in these things. And they were actually shocked that, a home user, I'm not the traditional radio station, a home user is using Skype like this. If anybody wants to watch a video of, it was a really good interview. Vance Willis from Studio Tech interviewed one of the guys from Skype at NAB. I'll post it in our show notes if you guys want to go watch it because it's actually really informative and he got a lot of questions answered. And they were pretty careful on what they were saying and what they wouldn't say, but I would definitely check it out. His video was pretty informative. Out of all the interviews that I've seen, it's actually one of the better ones. But let's see what happens. We got a couple of months till it comes, and for me, it's exciting.